Mommispace, a place where you can remember who you are in the midst of it all. This podcast gives moms of all stages a voice to share their experiences and the truth that there is no right way to mom.
Here we go. Here we go. The arms that hold you now bring a fire.
Welcome to season 2 of the Mommispace podcast. This is Bree, and I'm so excited that you decided to tune in for this season featuring foster care and adoption. My first guest is Susannah of Always More Room, and we met over Instagram. I'll share a little bit more about that in the episode, but I'm just so grateful to each mama who has opened up her heart and her story to us to share some of the truth, shed some light on what the realities of foster care and adoption actually look like, and how to get over some of the fears if you have been interested in it ever. So yeah, it's going to be a very exciting and probably deep season. So make sure you have tissues nearby. These stories are pretty incredible. Just a little reminder, if you have been impacted by this podcast in any way, it would mean so much to me. For one, if you could reach out and tell me about yourself and what your mama story is. I love connecting on Facebook and Instagram, or email. You can email me too. It really means a lot to me and helps me to kind of continue on with the work that I'm doing. It makes it all worth it. But another way that you can support is by leaving a review on iTunes. This way I can see you there as well and what you've been impacted by. But it also helps get the word out about the podcast in a larger way. So if you feel moved to do that, please do so. That would mean so much. And I love giving shout outs to people that I see leave reviews. So you might just get your name on here, baby. Okay, that's not the point, but you know what I mean. Anyways, just a last little business clip for you. Most of you know I am a singer-songwriter, and one of the challenges I've given myself this year is to write an original song for each season. Really simple, really down to earth. There's nothing very special about it, just the fact that I'm doing what I love and continuing to press in even as a mama, which is one of the things I'm very passionate about encouraging other mamas to do if you've got something that gives you life and all that goodness. So anyways, I have attached a full version of the song for this specific season. It will be at the end of every episode of season 2. So if you want to listen to it, give me some feedback there too. That would be amazing. Otherwise, it's just there for your listening pleasure. You can also listen on SoundCloud. That link is in my bio on Instagram too. So anyways, that's just a little extra piece for you. I love you guys. You're amazing. Thank you for tuning in every week. It's so amazing to see how many people from all over the world are listening to Mommispace. What the heck? It's so cool. Okay, without further ado, here's Susannah with Always My Room, sharing her foster care and adoption journey. Today, I am here with Susannah Houk. Susannah, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, I am so excited to talk to you. This is really fun for me. Susannah and I met via Instagram, and we've just been able to kind of pour into each other via Instagram and supporting each other's like goals as far as what we're doing on that space.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been such a pleasure, honestly. Like, I'm just so inspired by you every time you post something. And you are my very first interview for season 2 of this new kind of approach I'm taking to the podcast, and it will be featuring foster care and adoption, which you happen to have a lot of influence and experience in. So yeah, let's just go ahead and dive in. Maybe first, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your family, and maybe a quick overview of your own motherhood journey.
Great. You know what? I love Instagram, and I love the community that is being built for mothers, and especially mothers who are foster parents. To begin, my name is Susannah Houk, and my husband and 3 kids. We recently, this last year, moved from the San Francisco area to Ohio, which was a big change for us, but we're loving it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big change. But we're settled here this month. We actually are celebrating 1 year being here, and there's so many changes that came with that, but we're loving all of them. As far as my journey into motherhood, early on, even before we were married, my husband asked me what my dream of being, what did I want to be one day, like as a career. And I never had an answer for that. I always just wanted to be a mom. And right now we have 3 kids and we're fostering to adopt.
Wow.
And man, being a mom is hard work,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. Um, there are days that I think about working outside the house, but thankfully I can be a stay-at-home mom, and I feel fulfilled in that and content that this is where I'm supposed to be for this time in my life.
Wow.
So that's kind of my journey into motherhood
Nice.
and where I am right now as far as being a mom and being home with my kids and just enjoying the season that we're in.
That's amazing. Wow. So, was one of those conversations with your husband before talking about foster care and adoption? Like, how did you guys get into that? Tell us that story.
Okay, so a few years ago, my sister was in the process of fostering to adopt. And it took 3 years before my 2 nephews were adopted from foster care. And my husband and I began to get a burden for that. And we didn't know how we should get involved in foster care, whether it be help foster parents or just pray for them or find a way to get involved in our community. And we began to pray about that. And it soon, came to light that we too should become foster parents. And it just didn't go away. That burden didn't go away. And before we moved from California, we became foster parents and we were able to have 2 little kiddos with us.
Wow.
And I mean, it was a big change for our family. And we did take a break, during this move. And we're now being relicensed. And we're waiting any day now to get a call for another kiddo. So, yeah, a lot of changes going on, but it's something that hasn't gone away. We gave it a year to see if we're supposed to keep fostering, and we feel for our family that this is what we're supposed to do, and we're excited about it.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, can you kind of talk about a little bit the difference between just foster care and fostering to adopt? Because I know there's a difference there, and fostering to adopt is that's pretty significant, right? Like that's essentially, yeah. Like, why did you choose to go that route instead of just like straight up like adopting? Why that route?
Okay. So I have a niece that is adopted, and she was adopted through a private agency directly from the birth mother.
Wow.
And then my 2 nephews are adopted through foster care.
Wow.
And there's pros and cons to both. With most of the time, people think about the money. Adopting privately, it could cost a lot, whereas adopting through foster care, usually all of your costs are covered.
Wow.
But then with foster care, you really don't know what child is going to be needing to be adopted.
Okay.
You could get a child and they be with you 1 week, as was with our case for one kid.
Wow.
Or they could be with you 2 years and then go back to their birth parents or be moved to a different home for some reason or be moved in with family. So you never have that secure thing, 100% sure that you're going to be able to adopt.
Okay.
One of my nephews was in foster care. At 3 weeks, he was placed with my sister. And they say here in Ohio, they should only be in foster care 15 months and then they'll be adopted. They can be adopted. He was in the system for 3 years before he finally was able to be adopted by my sister. So that was because new judges came onto his case, so they kept giving, more chances maybe to the birth parents. So there's a lot of moving pieces, and it's never a for sure thing, but we know the God has a child out there somewhere that needs a permanent home, and we're open to that. We don't know how long we'll be fostering before we find, the kid that God wants us to adopt. So we may have quite a few come through our home, and we're going to love them unconditionally while we have them. And then they may move on. But if they need a forever home, we're open to that too. Instead of them moving to another home who may adopt them, we'd love for them just to, this be their last place that they have to go.
Wow.
So that's a little bit of the difference. And I know with every state and every case, it's different.
Okay. That's helpful. I did have a really sweet conversation with an old friend of mine who is also on that journey right now. She is, they're fostering to adopt 3 little kids. This is like their first, they don't have any biological kids of their own yet. They just felt like that was what they're supposed to do. And it was just so fascinating. But that was kind of one of my first ins to the foster system and what that all looked like. So that's actually really helpful for me, knowing the difference between just going adopting. You can kind of, and tell me if I'm wrong, you kind of get to have some you have some parameters, like you get to choose certain things that you would want, right? Like if you would want a boy or a girl, but whereas fostering to adopt, you're just opening your home up to whoever needs it. And then from there,
Well,
you kind of go. Is that kind of, did I get that right?
well, no, with fostering, you can still do the same. Even
Oh,
for
okay.
foster kids, I can choose if I want boy or girl,
Oh,
if
I
I want a
see.
certain race, if I want certain medical, that I will accept medical issues. But as far as private adoption, a lot of times that is a more cut and dry, if they sign the
Sure.
papers and it's done, whereas we're not waiting for a judge to say it's okay. We're not waiting for birth parents to get it together
Uh-huh.
and then next month they don't have it together.
Oh, okay.
So it's a
Okay.
little more back and forth. But you can still choose with foster care,
Okay. Okay.
even not adoption through foster care, but you can choose who you would like, even for the age range.
Oh,
We're right
wow.
now accepting 0 to 2 years,
Wow.
because that's what fits best with our family. But you can choose only teenagers or only
Wow.
boys that are 7 years old. I mean, you can
Wow.
choose what you want, but of course, the bigger the age range, the faster the placement you'll get,
Sure, sure.
as far as that goes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. I'm glad I asked. I clearly I needed to be educated there. That's very
No.
helpful. Thank you. That's great. Okay, I'd love for you to share a little bit about what you do on Instagram, some of the things that you're working on currently, and some things you're excited about in the new year, because you are, I mean, I've just been able to see some of the things that you've put out there and you've been working towards, and it's really inspiring. But yeah, just share a little bit about that for a minute.
Okay. Yeah, in October 2017, this past October, I started Always More Room as a way to get others involved in helping share God's love to those in need and also to connect with other foster moms. It's so unique to be able to connect with other moms who share the same life experience as you do.
Mm.
And I know for me, just being home every day, it's kind of my outlet to, I don't go to the coffee shop with other moms, but I can connect with you on Instagram.
Yes.
And this last year, I had my family and I wanted to do something special for kids in foster care. And we decided to open it up to our community online to see if anyone else would want to um, just come alongside us and
Mm.
make bags for children in foster care. A lot of kids in foster care leave their homes and go into their first foster home without any belongings. And so we wanted to
Wow.
make some bags with essentials to help them in that first night.
Wow.
And so many people on Instagram and Facebook came alongside us. We gave them a free t-shirt for donating, and we were able to make over 100 bags filled with essentials for
Wow.
the kids' first night. And that was just a huge
Oh my
blessing to be able to
gosh.
deliver those bags. And we've been getting emails and texts from foster families saying, I was just placed with an 8-month-old boy, and we received this bag from Always More Room. I just wanted to say thank you. So it's just
Wow.
been so
Mm.
great to see people giving from Canada, California,
Oh
Florida,
my
everywhere,
gosh.
and coming together to do this. This past December, we had a Give Hope project. We were helping
Yes.
homeless mothers with children, and we are delivering this week some essentials to help them start out the new year. So it's been
Wow.
just so great seeing our online community just help us out, and Always More Room on Instagram and Facebook. We're just trying to share God's love and be able to connect with others, especially those in the foster care world. It can be a little lonely because you don't really know a lot of
Mm.
people maybe in your area, but I myself have befriended so many people online.
Wow.
I have a mom in Canada, and I feel like her best friend. I've never met her,
Oh my
but
gosh. Wow.
she has been just so helpful to me and my family through this whole transition, even when we first got our first kiddos through foster care.
Mm.
Um, so, yeah, check us out on there, and we're
Yes.
trying to just share more about foster care, because I know when I first started, I was looking up on Pinterest and
Yeah.
befriending, ladies on Instagram. They were probably like, "Why are
Oh.
you messaging me? I don't know you." But, I had questions, and it's
Yeah.
great to have that support system.
That's incredible. Yeah, I love that you are
Yeah.
creating that space, not only to like grow community, but also to like take action and like do things that will be a huge practical help to people that are needing
Yeah.
that. Like that's so huge. I didn't even think about that because yeah, I just love that. I love that visual and the fact that you get to share those testimonies and those amazing stories on that space. I think is really powerful too. It's so cool.
Yeah, I love sharing. We're starting up tomorrow our Follow Friday, where we feature a different foster mom every Friday, and just
Yes.
their journey into their motherhood of
Wow.
becoming a foster mom. And our motto at Always More Room is there's always more room in our hearts and at our table. And as foster moms, we may
Mm,
have kids coming in one day and leaving the next day, but we always have that open room for them.
mm,
And I love sharing other moms, and how they got started in foster care and their
wow.
hearts. I mean, some of these moms have a lot of children that they take in, and
Wow.
I just love seeing how open they are to that and loving them.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I've loved seeing those stories too. They're so inspiring. It's amazing.
Hmm.
Um,
Definitely.
I did have something come up, just a question pop in my mind, and that would be, how have you kind of, I don't know, made space for this journey, like with fostering to adopt with your own kids? Like, what has that looked like as a family choosing this together?
Yeah, definitely. We made sure it was a family ordeal, that everyone
Yeah.
was on board. We talked to our kids about it. We made sure that they were okay with it. We made sure they were okay with the age range and if it was boy or girl. And we talked to them about it. They are so open to it. They keep asking me, when's the next baby coming?
Oh, that's
And
amazing.
it was so amazing to see them love on the kiddos that we
Oh,
had, back in
wow.
California. I mean, they cried when they left, and they
Wow.
just became, I mean, they treated them just like their other siblings. And it was so great to see them open their hearts, um, to these kids and just accept them as they are into our home, like
Mm,
they're part of our family. And so for us, we definitely involve the whole family, make sure they're okay with it. We talk to them again when we're now relicensed to get, more kids in our home. So yeah, we make sure that
wow.
they are totally on board with it. And if they need a break, we're totally okay with taking a break.
Wow, that's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, so we definitely make sure that the whole family, it's a whole family that
Yeah,
needs to be on board with it and open for it.
that's so cool. I love that. Okay, so I would like to ask you, what are some things that you would want to like educate people on who have little to no knowledge of foster care, fostering to adopt? I think I would be one of those,
Hmm.
and I really am interested in the whole concept, and I really I feel like I will probably enter this stage at some point in my life. I just definitely have like a place in my heart that's
Wow.
burning for that, but I don't know that the time is right now. But what are some things that you would
Hmm.
share and educate us on in regards to kind of walking into that space of foster
Sure.
care?
Don't be afraid to ask questions and reach out to
Mm-hmm.
people. I really had no idea about anything about foster care besides my sister who lived in Ohio at the time, and I was in California, and I didn't know anyone in my area that fostered.
Mm-hmm.
So we still made sure we research. I mean, I had Pinterest boards upon Pinterest boards about
Wow.
foster care. Like I said, I went on Instagram and I would started following these foster moms.
That's
I would
awesome.
I would DM complete strangers and ask them questions, and now they are some of my closest friends
Oh,
on Instagram.
wow.
And I love seeing, just how their families are growing through foster care too. And if you feel led to get involved, just do it.
Mm.
It might be by supporting a foster family with a
Mm.
meal or babysitting, praying for them, giving, even becoming a foster parent yourself.
Mm.
But I would say, especially if you know a foster family in your area, don't ask, just do.
That's
Don't
good.
ask, oh, maybe I could babysit for you sometime. Just do it. Just say, hey, I'm coming over this weekend. What time is good? We need to go on a date.
That's so
Because they'll
good.
always say, oh, yeah, that would be great. But they don't want to trouble you.
Sure.
Yeah, but just do it. Just get involved, ask questions, just do something, whether you feel like you do something. Not encourage someone on Instagram, write a post and say, man, I see all those kids you have, and I'm praying for you, and you can do this.
Wow.
But just be an encouragement to anyone, and definitely, we had to reach out and look for different agencies in our community before we decided. And if you want to become a foster parent yourself, just ask questions and find people in your community that might be able to help you along the way too.
That's really good. Yeah, I think I'm so grateful that I met you, and through you, so many other mamas who are passionate about this subject, because if there are people listening that are interested, it's such a good, you guys are such good resources now, to reach out to and ask questions. And I know for me at least, like, you've been so good at responding, and like you're so kind and like easy and to approach. So that is really helpful too. Yes, yes. Oh, that's so great.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'd love to hear like what's like a high and low of your journey so far. Like something that you've just like maybe like a story or testimony of your own or somebody else's that's like impacted you, that's like, this is why I do this. This is why it gets me up out of the bed in the morning, that kind of thing. And then something else that has been a struggle that you're like working through and walking through.
Sure. I would say probably a high would be just knowing God chose me and my family to be blessed by these kids, for whatever time they're going to be with us. He knows the whole story,
Yep.
and they may not be with us for a long time, but they are making an impact on our family that's going to last forever. And at the same time, the low would be, the sadness of hearing what these little kids are going through.
Wow.
And you don't really have a say in their future. All of that is left up to the social workers and the judges. And, you just have to love them unconditionally, even if they may be with you one day and gone the next.
Wow.
So I would say those are two of the things. Definitely the high is just bringing them into your home and loving on them and just enjoying every moment with them. But then the low would be, when they have to move on and you really don't have a say in their future, but you just can pray for them and love them. And so that definitely is a low in foster care for sure.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. What's something that you have done to like process that? I mean, even that grieving period of like not knowing, or once they leave, like what are some things that you've done to like take care of your heart in that space?
I mean, we usually would have to, have a little family meeting because everyone's feeling pretty sad.
Yeah.
And I know for my family, we need a little break between placements. I answer the phone and I know who it is, and I just want to say yes right away, And with one placement, he left. We knew he was leaving on a certain day. And that day he was leaving, we got a call for another child.
Wow.
And I just said yes right away. Wow. And so we had no time to process the little one leaving before the new one came in. And so I know for our family, having already done that we need just a few days, to recoup and just, grieve the little one that left and prepare for a new one coming in. And it's a lot on the kids too, having this little kid taken away all of a sudden and the new one coming in. And so that's something that we need to do. And even just recharging with my husband, making sure that, we're okay. And if we need some time together before our life gets hectic again. So I would say definitely just having some quality time as a family is key.
That's amazing. I love that. What a wise, yeah, that sounds so wise. I mean, just in general, like making sure you're checking in. And that can be hard. I can't even imagine, especially when
Yeah,
there's so much emotion tied in and, your heart is like
right.
for these children. Like, I would probably definitely say yes, like right away.
I know.
But I
Yeah,
love that, like just taking a deep breath and checking in. And yeah, that's so powerful.
definitely.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
good. Well, Susannah, I'm so grateful that you chose to spend some time to share your journey. And yeah, so those of you who are listening, make sure you go and follow her, Always More Room, and all of the other mamas that are in her community. Seriously, they're amazing. And the stories, again, the stories that you share are just so powerful and like move to tears. So yeah, but thank you so much for joining me. Seriously, it's so amazing. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I enjoyed this time, and I
Oh,
love
good.
following you and learning from all of these moms um,
Oh.
that are here on Mommy's Space.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's interview. Please share this with a friend if it impacted you in any way, and leave a review on iTunes so other mamas can hear the truth that they are enough and they are doing their very best. Be sure to catch up on what's happening in the Mommispace community every day on Instagram at Mommispace. And you can email me at mommispace@gmail.com for questions or interview recommendations. All my love to you, Mama. You're amazing. See you next week.
Your belongings in a bag, a new bed, a new room for your head. All is new, no answers quite yet. Here we go, here we go. The arms that hold you now bring a fire. The arms that hold you now bring a fire. A timely arrival will put your name on the door. I'll be the face you'll know as Mama for now. Here we go, here we go. The arms that hold you now bring a fire. The arms that hold you now bring a fire. The arms that hold you now bring a fire. The arms that hold you now bring a fire. And I won't let go if you won't let go. We're here right now together. You are mine and I am yours. We choose each other. And I won't let go if you won't let go. We're here right now together. You may break, but I will stay forever. The arms that hold you now bring a fire. The arms that hold you now bring a fire. The arms that hold you now bring a fire. Oh, oh, yeah. The arms almost there.